So strong leaders don't necessarily need to be super loud, right? It's not like the person at the restaurant that's super loud and inappropriately loud. They may seem somewhat competent, right, compared to just a normal person, but it's also very annoying and not well calibrated. So we're going to look at these vocal differences in this debate here and break down the difference. But what I want you to notice is don't focus necessarily on the quietness. Now, typically being more loud indicates that you're not embarrassed or shy to project your voice around other people, which is a sign of confidence and a sign of leadership. But even to give Biden a pass on this because he speaks very quiet, notice the certainty and the competence. Right? As a leader, you want to articulate competence that people can rally behind and trust in your decision making. So without me getting too much into it, let's watch the difference here, and then we'll break down the difference and talk about how you can use that in your life to come across confident. Even if you're not ever going to be in a presidential debate or lead 1,000 people, it's good even in the workplace. Say you're trying to get a group of people to rally behind your idea and it takes a little budget allocation or something like that. It's always good to be able to be persuasive and to sound confident and get people to rally behind you. And having a good, strong voice is a real big key to that. So let's watch this. And this is just the clip that was easy for me to grab. It doesn't make Biden look great. He didn't look great last night anyway, but I'm not going to beat on him for losing his train of thought like he did. But let's focus only on the vocal quality and the competence. How do you feel when you hear these two guys speak, if you could back out your own kind of political thoughts about them, whether you agree or disagree?
Person eligible for what I've been able to do with the with the COVID.
Does it almost sound like someone told him, hey, there's a baby sleeping in the other room. Don't make any sound, right? You don't want to wake the baby. Like, listen, doesn't this sound like that?
Excuse me, with dealing with everything we have to do with.
He's trying to be quiet, right? It's weird. He's intentionally not trying to project. And I know he's getting older, but if he wanted to project, it's a total different quality of voice that yours takes when you're confident and want to project. And he does not want to project. And sometimes that means you're not confident in what you're saying. And unfortunately, what's going on, it seems like in his brain in this debate, he isn't confident what he's saying. You can see right here, his voice is wandering. So one sign, it's like, you ever heard of the term called an honest tell or an honest signal? It just means it's something that is hard to fake. So people put a lot of credit or a lot of, they put a lot of weight in making judgments or projections about you based on honest signals. And your tone of voice is an honest signal because it's hard to fake. People pick up on those nuances and the incompetence and the quiet, and you don't feel like you're really confident what you're saying. So notice that as he speaks here.
Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump?
Well, he's right. He did beat Medicare. He beat it to death. And he's.
So you hear how Trump comes on. Trump strangely wasn't nearly as loud or worked up as he normally was. I don't know if they coached him on that or if he was just kind of being pulled down by Biden. But listen to his tone of voice versus a supplicative tone of voice, as you know, goes up. Like, we need to be sure that everybody is doing this. And a confident tone of voice, rapport breaking tonality, goes down. Yeah, you're right. He did beat up Medicaid. Just listen to the difference and how the sentences end between these two. It's so basic. People have been talking about this for 20 years, but it still tells such the same tale.
If we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump?
Well, he's right. He did beat Medicare. He beat it to death.
He did beat Medicare. He beat it to death. If we finally beat Medicare. So to take away the fact that it doesn't make sense. Another thing, like if you're going to run for the president of the United States, and even if you get cut off by the thing, you still need to say, I didn't mean that, I meant this. You need to lead, he gets cut off way too easily. I know there's rules to this debate, but look at him. He realizes he doesn't make any sense, but he doesn't even try to correct it. He's just kind of it's just gone in the wind.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump?
We finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump?
Just nothing, just dead eyes. I mean, like I said in the last video, I'm not piling on. I feel bad at this point. And I think it is, not to get into the political side of this, because we're talking about vocal quality and the social implications of this, but it seems strange to me that all of a sudden all these other news networks besides Fox News are piling on him how he just awful performance. They can't believe how bad it is. They knew how bad it was. It seems like it's an organized thing and they're going to announce somebody else because I can't believe, like you saw what happened with the projections for the votes after this. So I can't believe that's not going to happen. But listen again to the difference between Trump's tone and Biden's tone, just on this one little clip, and then we'll talk about how you can implement it in your life.
Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump?
Well, he's right. He did beat Medicare. He beat it to death, and he's destroying Medicare because all of these people are coming in. They're putting...
Even when his tone goes up, it ends down. All these people are coming in. You hear that? It's almost like if you're thinking about it like a singing tone, it still ends down.
Coming in. They're putting them on Medicare. They're putting them on Social Security. They're going to destroy Social Security. This man is going to single-handedly destroy Social Security.
So you can tell, even if you back out all the volumes and you normalize the levels, you can just tell the tone of voice is different. Trump is speaking with a confident tone, which sounds and feels like a leader, and Biden is not. Biden sounds like he's whispering, and it sounds like he's not confident in anything that he says.
If we finally beat Medicare.
It sounds like he's whispering. We finally beat Medicare. It truly sounds like he's whispering. It's bizarre. So something you can do immediately to improve this is just become aware of your own vocal tendency. I coach people. I used to coach one-on-one. Now I don't. I have a program. I'll put a link down that talks about how you can speak with a strong, powerful, confident voice. But what I learned from coaching so many people about this is they're unaware about the tendency that their voice has. So next time you have to talk, whether you're at a restaurant that's a little more fancy or you're in line and there's someone that seems to be a bit high status in line, notice that your own voice naturally tries, I shouldn't say tries, but it's like your subconscious is trying to rein in the tonality so you sound a little more like Biden. Say if you say something to the person you're with, you just kind of feel like, hey, what do you think you're going to get? You kind of feel like you should be whispering versus in places where you're confident, maybe you're just around your family or your kids, and you're like, hey, what are you guys doing? You know, you naturally project. You don't even have to try. You also don't have to try to rein it in. And it's important to understand that because a lot of times when it's the most important for us to make a really strong impression, it's when we naturally don't feel that confident. Because the reason it's important because we're around people that can do something for us, right? Or we can make a good impression and it can mean something to us. So once you notice that, the next time you go into a situation like that, at least you can be aware. Because being aware is the first step, and then you can take conscious steps to alleviating, I'm going to sound quiet. So the minute I talk, let's be aware of this. Oh, I do sound like I'm whispering. Turn it up a little louder than I normally would, because that's just going to get you to the baseline where you sound like you're normal and you sound like you're not intimidated by the situation. So then people who hear you speaking in that situation say, oh, he must have this status. He's speaking like someone high status would in this room around other high status people. Whereas most people, the honest signal, they're showing their hand. They're showing that they don't feel like they belong in this group of high status people because they're whispering like Joe Biden.